For 30 years, nothing has changed. Within 2 or 3 years, it is difficult to accomplish that. We need a breakthrough starting from the president, the cabinet of ministers, and the parliament. This is point number one. Point number two about the liquidators themselves. That's drama, this British American Chernobyl. Well, it's a matter of taste, but I would tell you one thing. It harvested lots of awards, and it actually drew the veil away and presented the people. And me, myself, my friends are very grateful to the creators of this film, because we are now in the focus, we are on the radar screen. As the saying goes, they remember the government, the president, three divers were so-called were represented with the Hero of Ukraine awards and decoration. One of them died before that, but if it hasn't been for the film, nobody would give them that award. And then I now remember the liquidators, the UK.
I gave interview to Daily Express, and people would come up and talk to us and shake hands. They watch the film, they see helicopters flying above the reactor, and suddenly there's this guy who actually did it. Not from the movie screen, but from real life, in the flesh. And of course, it's a show, and there are some inaccuracies regarding helicopters, but they did convey the atmosphere of the time, and they also showed the Soviet way of life. The equipment, the props were great, and it was deeply moving. But strange as it may seem, no Ukrainian or Russian film director came up with the idea to create a movie like this here, but foreigners did. But as far as the state is concerned, cabinet of ministers, the parliament, MPs have to work on this, and people are dying every day, and every year we bury our colleagues. As far as the film is concerned, all I can say is that all these years I was trying to tell the world about what happened as a journalist, as a reporter, but there was little reaction over here. So we can radically change the situation only when the state program on Chernobyl mitigation is approved. Second stage, a government agency has to be formed, a dedicated agency ministry perhaps, or a department within the cabinet of ministers that would oversee these things. So that vice prime minister, one of the vice prime ministers, would take control of this and sees to it that things start moving. A third aspect, I believe, Chernobyl topic should be raised at international level, because Ukraine can't cope on its own. There isn't enough material resources, and there's a lot of work to decontaminate the soil and bring back to life the hospitals that Chernobyl cleanup workers could use. There is no rehabilitation facility. There is one building in Pushevoditsa that is not being used. It hasn't received a penny of funding over the past 15 years. And people, when the cleanup workers, when they come for treatment, they have no specialized place to be hospitalized, where they would be treated by experts knowledgeable in the field and specializing in this field. So these three aspects are mandatory. I heard of this in Kiev. One of Chernobyl medical centers is closed in Kiev. Well, actually, many of those were closed. Now, the question is to downsize. The radiation medicine center is one of those, but we are trying to avoid this. But we still have 170,000 cleanup workers who are being monitored by this center. And if it is shut down, then no one will care for these people. Well, I'd like to thank you for this discussion. We slightly went beyond our timing, but this was very useful. Thank you for your participation, Valeriy Makarenko, Soyuz Chernobyl Fukushima president, and Andriy Mizko, the helicopter pilot who used to dump lead on the exploded reactor, and Nabat NGO.